Oh, it is a hot one out there today, guys. Anyways, you might notice I don't have my decoys hanging up. That is because I'm going over what decoys I use for duck hunting. A couple of you guys have requested this video. I'm finally getting around to it, and here we go. So I guess I'll just start out with here. So I've got two different half dozen of decoys on them. All my decoys are on Texas rigs. I like them. You know, it's a lot easier to pick up, a lot easier to throw out, and a lot easier to use with a kayak, in my opinion. Anywho, I'll start with these. So I've got green headgear or teal decoys, half dozen of those, all green wings. I should have another. Let's see if I can find it. What is that? There it is. Okay. So I've got kind of a mix and match, half dozen of these though, because when I went into the store, I wanted these. These are the ones they had on display. They didn't have a full half dozen of them, but they had some of these left. They mixed and matched. That's how I got these. The paint's held up really well on them. These are probably 7-8 years old already, and I've got no complaints. They've been banged around every September. I run them all the way to the end of duck season because we see green wings out here year round. So these are always out there with me unless, you know, I'm hunting a river, because they don't have the heaviest weights and I don't really want to lose them. But if I'm hunting ponds, lakes, breaking ice, whatever, these are going to be out there with me, and they've held up really well. Also on this twisted mess of Texas rig that I have that I need to straighten out is the green headgear puddler pack. And they don't even make this anymore. It was soon replaced by the Puddler Pack 2. But basically the original Puddler Pack featured 3 species, the gadwall, the pintail, and the widgeon. As you can see, the paint job on them is very well done. They look really realistic, which is part of the reason why I bought them. The other part was the price tag. Try saying that 5 times fast, lots of P's in there. But, you know, I think these were only 40 bucks, as well as the teal decoys. They were both $40. Or maybe a little cheaper than that even. So $80 for a dozen decoys, and that's how good they look. That's a pretty good deal in my book. But this is the original Puddler Pack. They did a Puddler Pack 2. I can't remember. They took one of the species out and they subbed it out with maybe like, I want to say maybe a wood duck or something. I don't know. I didn't buy that. And now they don't even have it. It's called the Marsh Pack, and it's a different set of species as well. But as you can see, the paint has held up on these really well. They're probably 5 years old as well. So those are the only green headgear decoys. Well, I take that back. Those are my teal season and early season duck decoys. I'll run like the pintail or the widgeon. I'll throw them in with my mallards late season just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But we'll go off with the other half dozen of green headgear decoys I have. As you can see, I've got coot decoys on here. These are green headgear coot decoys, oversized. This is the only size I can find them in. I typically don't like running oversized decoys just because they're bigger, they're bulkier, they weigh a little bit more. I like to keep it a little lighter, but you do what you got to do. The paint on these holds up really well. I mean, there's not much to them. They're black with a white bill and a little bit of red on them. These are 2 years old, and I will swear by these. I get laughed at when I pull up into the marsh and, you know, put them on my kayak. I've had several people ask me, "Are you hunting mud hens? Why are you shooting coots?" I was like, "No, I'm not shooting them, but these things help pull in the ducks." It's just something different, something a lot of people don't use. Gives the ducks a little something more to look at, and we've got a lot of coots in my area. So that is why I run these coot decoys. I have no complaints about them, and actually Green Headgear is one of the few manufacturers that makes them. Now, moving on, you will see I have diver decoys on here as well, and these are AVNX Sleeper Diving Decoys. I don't know if that's the exact pack name, but they came with 2 different species, Green Headgear, or the redhead, and the canvasback. As you can see, very realistic, a really nice paint job. And we have divers in my area. There's divers up in the sandhills, there's divers on the rivers and lakes all across Nebraska. So I decided to get some diver decoys as well. Not only because we have them out here, but also because, I mean, look at that, it's how white that is, and even this is a little lighter colored. That sticks out. That pulls in other duck species, and you know, you see them mixed in sometimes. You'll see rafts of mallards out here just on the roost, and there'll be divers mixed in. So it just adds another little piece of realism to my decoy spread that I strive for. You know, that's one of the main things I try to do with my decoy spread, is be as realistic as possible. And we have divers, we have coots, we have all kinds of species, and they're all intermingled together, and that is what I try to imitate with my decoy spreads. So Avian X, divers, and coots on that one. And finally, my last Texas rig set. Pull these up. I have my Avian X Mallards. So before I had these Avian X Mallards, I ran Green Headgear Hot by 2 Mallards, and you know, I ran them all throughout my college years, even a couple years afterwards, and I slowly started upgrading to the Avian X's. Not to say that the Green Headgears didn't work, but I actually bought the first dozen. I bought these. They're the Rester Prairie series Green Headgears. As you can see, you know, they kind of look like the ducks are sleeping. I think it's 4 drakes and 2 hens or whatever. But I threw out these first half dozen with my Hot by 2s, and the first day I threw them out, the ducks keyed in on the Avian X, and I was sold after that. So I've been slowly upgrading to Avian X each year. Once again, with the Avian X, you know, you have that, it's not like a hard plastic. It's a little flexible, so you don't really have to worry. I mean, you can bust ice off them really easily. The paint stays on a lot better. And I mean, that's probably a 4 or 5 year old decoy, and I haven't painted it, haven't really done anything in the terms of care, you know, other than maybe spray it off, which I need to do. These have moss and crap on them still, but you know, the paint has held up really well for me. I know some other people have said not so much, but I think it just depends on the batch of decoys you get from any manufacturer. After that, I got the Avian X Mallard backwater kit, which basically are just feeders. You know, they kind of look like they're dabbling around, feeding, and it really is a nice contrast to the Rester series that I have. Other than that, I got a couple other decoys that I just included on here that I've been gifted through the years. So I've got here's an Avian X gadwall, and this is a Green Headgear gadwall. Another one, this is a different model, I'm not really sure, but got these as, you know, Christmas presents. So that is all the duck decoys that I run. As you can see, I have a lot. I think that is probably about 40 total duck decoys just for water. I have you know, some Mojos and Lucky Ducks and stuff too, but for just my floaters, that is what I run. So if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below. I'll try to answer them as best I can. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave me a thumbs up. Always helps me out. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you can stay up to date with the latest videos. Hunting season is less than 2 months away. We'll be on the doves first, then some teal. As well as fishing. We've got more fishing, about 2 months of my fishing season, and then probably not as much until the hard water. And more hunting boot camps and cooking videos as well. So if any of that piques your interest, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Check me out on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all under High Prairie Sportsmen, so you can stay up to date with the hunting, fishing, whatever I'm doing, real time. And we'll catch you out there, guys. See ya.